All right, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna be a guest on a podcast tomorrow. It's a video podcast, which means this tank is gonna be in it and it looks terrible. I need to do some work on this thing. I need to do a regular maintenance on it plus a sump maintenance, and I wanna try to quiet it down a little bit. The sump is kind of loud. I'm gonna see if I can do a couple of things to quiet it down a little bit. And you know what? I'm gonna take you with me. Naturally, the first thing I'm going to do when I start a water change is remove some of the water, and I do that two ways. First is I use this huge Python siphon, which I run into a roll-around trash can. I use that because it's just way more powerful than the Python that hooks up to your sink. But to do the bulk of the removal of water, I use the Ultra Zero from CJ. Jay Wilson sent me this a while back, and I gotta tell you, this thing is amazing. I hook it up to my garden hose and run it right out the door. This thing is dead silent and moves a ton of water very fast. Next is performing maintenance on the sump. This is something I really only do like once every 4 or 5 months, but to be honest, these fish in the tank are absolute slobs, so I'm thinking I'm going to make the switch to maybe every 2 months. I start off by pulling out the media trays and removing all of the sponges. Some of them can be cleaned out and others just have to go in the trash. For the biomedia, I just rinse it out in aquarium water. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. With all the media cleaned out, I like to get everything out of the sump, and I'm going to do my best to try to show this on camera, but I actually take a shop vac and I just suck everything out of that sump, and you'd be surprised how much nastiness and gross brown mud gets sucked up out of that thing. It's unbelievable. Yes, it's kind of a pain because even though I have the biggest shop vac that Home Depot had available, it still fills it up like 3 times and I have to carry it out and dump it out and all that. But I'm going to tell you, this is one of the easiest and fastest way to get all that nasty stuff out of your sump. Once everything's all cleaned out, I've cleaned out all of the sponges and the filter socks and all that, I start to put everything together and just putting the media trays in one by one. It's very, very simple. But one of the things that I wanted to try this time was what I talked about in the opening. I want to try to quiet this sump down. This thing works amazingly, but it makes some noise. And this is not only my fish room, but it's also my office. So I'm gonna jam some polyfill and some more sponges and stuff like that into the media tray tower, just trying to quiet down some of that water trickling. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I'll let you know at the end of the video. That wasn't very fun. But listen, Lisa just brought me home pizza. This is my night that I get to eat whatever I want. It's my favorite night of the week. It's pizza night, and you are interfering with that right now. So I want to make this quick. I wanted to talk about where we're at. Got the water obviously drained down, got all of the poop, not all of it, but most of the poop and stuff like that sucked up out of it. Got the sump all cleaned out. We're good to go there. Now I'm just to the point where I'm filling things back up again. I'm gonna have a couple of more things to do tomorrow, which we'll talk about. But for now, I gotta get this water filled back up so I can get everything running again, and so these fish don't suffocate and die. And I wanted to tell you the way I refill it right now, because it's December and it's cold outside, I use my Python, which is hooked up to my bathroom sink. If it was summertime, I would just use the same hose that I use to drain the water out, and I would just hook it up to the outdoor spigot and fill it back up again. But right now the water's a little bit too cold. So this is how I do it. And I'm going to explain to you how much of a genius I am, because I know what you're about to ask. You're about to ask, John, well, if you're just putting it in straight from the tap, how do you do your water conditioners? Well, I'm going to show you, because it's not overly complicated. It's actually quite simple. I use Fritz Complete or I use Seachem Prime, and I just put it in while I'm filling it up. What's the big deal? Another question you might want to ask, do you put in the amount of conditioner that's necessary for the full tank, or do you just do the water that you replaced? Every single time I do the whole tank. I've done it that way for 20 something years and it's never been a problem. I don't know that you can overdose on water conditioner unless you pour the whole daggone bottle in there, but nobody's gonna do that. Anyway, this thing's gonna take a while to fill up. I'm gonna go eat my pizza. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Now, through the magic of editing, we are at the next day, and yes, the pizza was absolutely fantastic. What was even better about it was the leftovers that I had for lunch today. But anyway, this is the last bit of work that needs to be done, which is cleaning off the glass. It looks like I'm doing a big old advertisement for the Flipper magnetic cleaner. Well, I am, but I was not paid by Flipper. Flipper doesn't know I'm doing this. I paid full price for that scraper right there, and I'm going to tell you why I did that. It's one of the best things in the world. I absolutely love that product. It works fantastically, and you know what? You can scrape the algae off of the glass, and you don't have to get your hands wet.
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
Listen, folks, the reason why I wanted to share this whole process with you is because I wanted to be able to tell you there is no better feeling in this hobby than to do a lot of work like we've done today and yesterday and be able to take a step back and look how gorgeous this is when you're done. It is an amazing feeling. It's one of the best parts about this hobby as far as I'm concerned. And I just wanted to share that with you. Now, like I said towards the beginning of this video, this is something I'm probably going to do monthly, if not bi-monthly, because with those big dogs in there, they are messy and it just needs to be done more than what I'm doing it. But wanted to share the process with you, how I go about maintaining my biggest tank in the fleet. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to get something out of it. Bye.